Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I am Zoe Wafelbakker and this is Living in Austin. Today we are going to help you answer the $6 million question, where to live. So let's get to it. Alright guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Zoe Wafelbakker with Agape Property Group here in Austin. If you're new to the channel, thank you for checking us out. If you want to learn more about what it's like to live in Austin, make sure that you click that little subscribe button and that notification bell next to it, as we're uploading videos all the time about what it's like to live, work, eat, play, where to live, all those things, so that you know before you move. Now, as much as we love doing these videos, we are licensed realtors here in Austin, and we love helping people relocate here, finding a home, finding a community, and settling in and calling Austin home. So if you are looking at moving here and you are interested in purchasing a home, reach out. You've got our details below. You've got our phone number and our email. Drop us a text, give us a call, do an email. Between my business partner / husband, Mark French, we're the ones that answer the phone and we are the ones that answer those emails. So make sure that you reach out. I have a pen today, so I'm pointing it everywhere. But let's crack on to the where to live. So you're thinking about moving to Austin, but it's like, where do you start? Like north, south, east, west, where do you go? So I've got some things for you to think about, 5 things for you to think about. I got a list in front of me here. And first up, number 1 is actually something that we do with our buyers. So if you do this, you're actually going to be ahead of the curve. What's really handy, and if you do this, is get a piece of paper, and you're going to jot down a few things. Give some space between each line, because you're going to have to do something else afterwards. So the first thing is that I want you to kind of think about what you love about where you live now. Now think about the house, think about the location, think about anything, just the things that you love. Now it might be specific, it might be the fact that you've got 2 offices in your house, it might be that you've got a basement, and it might be because you've got a 3-car garage, it might be the location that you love being able to walk to the restaurants and shops, it might be that you're super close to a trail. Whatever it is, just jot down what you love. And then, with all those items, put a little check. That's not actually why I've got the pen, but put a tick, a check mark against those things that you want in Austin when you move. So then from that, I want you to dig a little bit deeper on those line items. So then write down why exactly that's important to you. For example, you've got a 3-car garage, for example, is really, really important to you. Now that's because, is it for the storage, or is it because you have hobby cars? You've got actually 3 cars, and or $1 million each, and you want them to be in a garage. Extreme example, but you get what I'm talking about. Or if, for example, it's the school district. Now, why is it the school district that's important? Is it because it's rated very highly? Or is it because the elementary school is amazing at sports? They're well renowned for the sports, and the middle school is well renowned for the arts, and that's where your kids fit, and that's what's important. Or, you have special ed requirements, not you, your kids have special education requirements, and that particular school zone is amazing for that. So dig deep, and that's really, really going to help you figure out, start narrowing things down here for your search in Austin. So yeah, there's a little activity for you there for number one. Now, number two is location. Now, we've all heard that, Austin is the little city that got big, and the infrastructure hasn't grown with the city. So the traffic in Austin can be somewhat frustrating. You've no doubt heard that, and you're probably going, well, goodness me, it's not half as bad as what, we're used to here, or whatever town that you're in at the moment, city that you're in at the moment. But it can get frustrating, and the things to consider are, number one, are you going to be working from home? Or if you don't know if you're going to be working from home, then I would say, if you have some companies in mind. So I'd, again, get that pen to paper and think about, okay, if you don't have a company, that if you're going to be actually changing companies altogether, then think about what's your dream company? What's the one that you really want to work for? And note them down, what you put out there. What is it? What you think about expands. Put that out there, and then look where they are located. Now, if they're all located up in Round Rock, for example, then it's probably not a good idea for you to be searching for homes in South Austin or Buda. It might be more sensible for you to go north of the river, northwest, or north up by Round Rock or Cedar Park, Avery Ranch, those areas. So because, do you really want to be traveling for 2 hours a day? Now, if they're totally open to it, working from home, then happy days. You can go anywhere. The one really good thing that's come out of COVID. So have a think about that with regards to your location. Now, the third thing is, what do you like to do on the weekends? Now, this isn't as random as it sounds, but what's your social life like? Do you like being out? Do you hate cooking? You can't cook? You want to be out in different restaurants every night? Or do you want to be in, the music scene every night or every weekend at least? Or, are you outdoorsy and you want to be really close to a trail and running, doing 10 miles every morning, and you have to have a trail that's super close by? Or, is the boat coming with you? Do you want to be living close to Lake Austin or Lake Travis? What are you doing in the weekends? And what amount of travel do you want to accept, for what you're doing? So have a think about that, because if you are, super social, a million times more, have more social things on than what I do, and you want to be going out in restaurants, music scene, dancing, all that kind of stuff, then you might want to live, really central, downtown kind of lifestyle, or East Austin, where it's 5-7 minute Uber to get into all the action. And the same goes, if you want your weekends spent out on the water, then possibly you want to be closer to Lake Travis, so you're not like commuting out there every weekend. So that's something to think about. Now the fourth thing is your timeline. So, is moving to Austin, in your 6-month plan, or is it a gotta be there in the next 4 weeks plan? Because that's going to determine, really, if you're looking to buy straight away, that's going to determine the house that you look to buy. Now, let's start with the 6-month plan. So if you're looking at, being out here in another 6 months, then, a viable option is to look at new construction homes. Excuse me. There is some wait list on certain property, on certain construction homes, but there's also there's some availability of to be built homes. Literally been looking at this in the last couple of days for clients, and there are still to be built lomes available. What I would manage in your expectations there is like 6 to 12 months. So if it is a longer term plan, excuse me, then you could go under contract, just do a small down payment. It's round about $5,000 depending on the builder. It can be more. Put down a down payment and still be in your state, your hometown, and have your realtor manage the process for you, take photos for you, make sure you're getting the third-party inspections that are required, and then when it's getting closer to that completion time, you can sell your house or move, and then you've got a house to move in. So like I say, allow about 6 to 12 months on that. Builders are average around 8 months, but with the supply issues that we've had with COVID, it can always be pushed out. Now, excuse me, if you have a shorter time frame and you're going to be landing here in the next 4 weeks, then there is the option of new construction. There are a few builders that have inventory homes, that already built homes, but they're kind of running out. So what your alternative there might be is a resale property. So that's an option for you on those, and then you can be more specific about your community. A little bit more specific about your community, because what I will say about the new construction homes is that they are more on the outskirts of Austin. Sure, you do have custom homes more downtown and small communities, more centrally located. They are at a different price point for, geographical reasons. But if you are looking at new construction, then they are often more on the outskirts of the city. So if you are wanting more central, then resale or that higher price point might be an option. Third thing, fifth thing, cracky, I've gone through this quickly. The fifth thing is your price point. Now I'm going to get straight to the point on this one. It's not just your sales price, okay? So if you are looking at doing a resale property, the market here in Austin is really competitive, like it is in so many places in the States at the moment. So it's not just about the sales price that you offer, it's also about the terms that you offer a seller as well. Now, I'm going to go a level deeper on that. So let's just say you've found a fabulous home for $700,000. You've got your down payment that you have for that, and you're mentally prepared for that. Happy days, whatever that is, 5, 10, 15, 20, 50%, whatever that looks like. Then there's some other things to consider. Of course, your closing costs. We typically tell people 2 to 3% for your closing costs. And then you have some of those terms within the contract. And other than your sales price, and your down payment, another thing, the big one to consider is the shortened term is an appraisal waiver. What's that? What it is the official term, your right, the addendum to waive your right to terminate based on the appraisal. What does that really mean? Example, your $700,000 house. Now, to win that house, you had to offer $770,000. That's being somewhat conservative in this market at the moment, FYI, at just 10%. So let's just say it is $770,000. Now, you decided to agree to waive your right to terminate the contract based on the appraisal, the full waiver, and the appraisal comes back in from the lender, and that comes in at, let's do easy numbers. It comes in at $670,000. It's like, what? That's even come in under list price. It can happen. So that, then there is a $100,000 delta difference between what the bank's going to lend you and what your offer price is. Now, you need to come up with that difference. By signing that waiver, you need to come up with that difference of $100,000, as well as your down payment and the closing costs. So that's where, you know, the price of course matters, but you know, also how much actually cash reserves that you have access to is important. So there are obviously other terms that are considered in every contract, but this isn't about terms, it's about where you live. And obviously, so your price point, you know, is going to matter, but it's also what you've got in the bank as well, because that's going to also determine, you know, ultimately where you can live. So also other things, if you are looking at moving here, there are great resources. Obviously this video, I'm going to put some more links down below. There's like Austin relocation guide, and something that I've been seeing on a mums group I'm a part of. It's mummies living in South Austin, guess where I live, is actually people get onto those groups that, you know, people that are looking at moving here, and really narrow down communities and get a feel for people that are actually living in the different communities. What I would say, if you are doing that, like, go back to point number one and be specific, you know, on what is important to you. Then people can really engage and be happy. And there's a whole bunch of Facebook groups, and I can help you find those as well, if there is certain areas that you're looking at. And there's like, you know, Transplants of Austin and all kinds of groups that, there's actually Austin Relocation Guide Facebook group as well. So you can reach out to these groups and get people on the ground that are going to be able to help. So I hope that is helpful for you guys, to help you determine what place might be important. And the final thing I would say is that Austin has different vibes in different parts of the city, and you know, it really depends on the vibe that you like from a city. So coming out here and getting a feel for the place is a really good idea, and style, and you know, things like HOAs. Do you want to be in an HOA community or you don't? So have a think about that and put that in that number one list. So that's it. You've heard enough of my voice today. As always, if you do have any questions, details are below. Phone number, phone, text, email. Give us a shout out. We love helping people relocate here. We've clearly done, well, not clearly, but you know, not from around here. We've done it, and working with people that are moving here and showing them such cool things about this city is always our pleasure. So we'll hear from you soon. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.